good again. The games have been going strong, obviously. Carlsen managed to get a win in a very nice card in the Queen and Rook endgame. So if we're going towards that endgame for stalemates, we don't want that, but the very nice endgame here for Carlsen. We had Ding drawing against Nepo, Naka drawing against Anand, we already knew that, and Giri actually losing to Wesley So, which is an unfortunate change of circumstances.
Cool.
So in 10 minutes are the next rounds, we have the next things going on.
So we got round 8 and 9, just 2 more rounds.
2 more rounds for today, absolutely.
For today. And then tomorrow we're back on for the last day, which is a bit of an earlier start for us. I'm actually interested in about everyone. Yeah, I'm actually interested to know where everyone's watching this from. I mean, do we have a lot of Americans in the chat, or do we? Where is everyone from?
Yeah,
I'm kind of intrigued.
Represent your country. That's what I'd like to see. Well, we're now back. We should be good. I mean, I keep shouting we're back, but
yeah,
we should be back. It would be quite the thing.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
We'll get it. Yeah, we're back. We're good. We got it. Okay. Yeah, it was quite unfortunate. You have to reassess that little thing over there. But we have Latvia, we have Germany, we have France. Yeah, we have this dude. Look at the chat. You see the chat right now, Simon?
I can. Yes, I can. It's quite a lot of European countries then, which is cool.
Look at this one. Look at that.
Oh, I love Simon Williams. Was that you?
Yeah, he's fried for 23 months, almost 2 years, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have the standings. Let me set them up real quick. Maybe that's a little bit better for you lots who we're going to have. Let me show you the standings we have right now, because I had some things open. Let's go to the slideshow. Let's put you down in here. These are the standings at the moment. Magnus Carlsen, 20 points. Still 4.5 points above Hikaru. Vishnanath Anand is now 6th place. Only half a point above Nepo. If I'm Anand, Simon, I would get a little bit scary.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about probably the position that's most important, because this event decides who qualifies for the kind of final event in London, where the top 4 scorers go through, I believe.
Yeah.
And Anand needs to come position 1 to 6 in this event to qualify for London. So if he comes 7th, that's not good enough. And he's in joint 4th, but only half point behind is Nepo. So if he doesn't have a good end to this tournament, he won't be going to London, which will be very disappointing for him. So that'll be intriguing to see how he gets on, Anand, in the final games.
Absolutely.
Nepo has had a bit of a bad run over the last couple of games. I mean, he lost to Carlsen and to some other people.
Yeah.
And this is looking interesting at the end, yeah.
Absolutely, but let's not forget, if Anand doesn't make it, MVL is going to go to London, which he also deserves. So it's
sure.
we have to trade off. We can't have them both, unfortunately.
We can't. Both lovely guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there.
So let's go back to the pairings, because there's going to be a pairing that you're going to like, Simon. I think you're going to like this pairing. You ready?
I'm ready. I'm always ready.
It's Mr. Anand versus world champion Mr. Carlsen, which is always a blast to watch, especially with so much for Anand on the line, and Carlsen just being Carlsen. Maggie
being Carlsen. I like it. Well, this is kind of a key game. I mean,
yeah, it is.
Anand has the white pieces. If he loses this one, he might drop out of the top 6. Okay, of course, he can have a good day tomorrow, and there's one more round. This is the penultimate round. But playing Carlsen with any colour is proven to be quite tricky, isn't it, for these guys? I mean,
exactly.
Carlsen's playing some risky openings as well, like the Scandinavian, and he's taking a little bit of risks.
Yeah, he last time he also played a Marshall Gambit all the time, and he won twice. He played a Taraj, and he also won that one. So it doesn't appear to matter what kind of passive opening he plays. I think he also played the Caro-Kann last game or the game before that. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. So, but Carlsen be Carlsen. Let's go a little bit. It's 7 more minutes, and we're not gonna take a break, obviously, because we missed part of the last round. So the Queen against 2 Rooks in the Knight. Which game was that? Was that the Pomniachi?
I think that was I think it was the Ding Liren game.
Ding
Whoever
Liren game. Yeah,
yeah,
against
so
Nepomniachtchi. They did draw,
Yeah,
and you came back like around this position.
yeah.
Now when A2 was fallen, yeah, it was here that we picked it off. I really like black here because of the run over here, but the rooks were traded off, and well, I mean, Ding just Nepomniachtchi played this really well. It could have been a lot of trouble, but in this position, it's simply a draw. Well, I say simply a draw, but there's a nice fortress, and I think knights are very good at defending against queens. It seems really weird, but they always cover like a lot of squares around them. If you place a knight on f7, this one is taken, this one is taken. You know, it's always a good one to have.
Yeah.
Let's go over the pairings. Let's see if you know your players. Are you ready? So I'm putting you on the spot here. I want to get some predictions.
Right.
Hare Krishna versus Nepomniachtchi.
I'm going to go. Nepo saved that game. I think he should have been in trouble there. And he's got black, but I will go for a Nepo win.
Nepo win. Okay. Yeah. Levon Aronian versus Ding Liren.
Aronian's having a bit of a bad time. Mm-hmm. I'll go draw. I'll go draw there because he's got white. Yeah.
Anand versus Carlsen.
Well, ooh. I'm going to have to say a win for Carlsen. It just has to be done. Sorry, Anand fans. I'm going to go for a win for Carlsen. Let's do it.
Yeah, the chat could also help. This could also enjoy it with us. So an American Rumble, Wesley So against Hikaru. Hikaru actually beat Wesley So in Rapid. It was a completely drawn game, and he just kept playing with the bishops, and he actually dismantled it. So what do you think? I'm
going to go draw. A solid draw between the two Americans. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Vidit against Anish. I think Vidit was Anish's second in the past, or always? That's always been Aaron, right?
Yeah, he has.
He was. Okay, so that could be, you know.
I'd imagine it's quite weird when you're a second to someone and you've been working with them for years, and then your chess is improving, and then you have to play them because you're very good friends with them. You know their repertoire incredibly well, but it's a niche, so a draw.
Oh my God, dude.
Just leave it there. Yeah,
you're so savage. Okay. We'll leave it there. Nothing, it doesn't have any no correlation to anything. Chat. No correlation to anything. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Well, some feisty stuff you have to say over there, Mr. Simon Williams. We have 2 more rounds. This one and then tomorrow will be an hour earlier, as stated. And we will get all these games again, 9 rounds again. So exciting stuff. The time flies, Simon.
I have to ask tomorrow, as I've been rather busy over the weekend, what is the time limit tomorrow, Bick? I mean, it starts an hour earlier, and it's the last day tomorrow. So what can people expect?
I think it's the same time limit as today. So it's 5-3.
5-3. Different colours.
Different colours, yes.
Good stuff. And it's funny with Blitz because it can make such a big, things can change so quickly because you can score loads of points in a day.
Yeah, exactly.
So things can really even turn around totally.
But you know what tomorrow. The thing is? Carlsen just did so well in Rapid. He got double the points. So he actually he can just have fun now. It doesn't really matter at this moment. So I think this matters a little bit more than Rapid because he wants the top first Blitz. And he already has the top first Rapid. So he doesn't really care about that anymore.
Yeah.
That's why he played the Rapid so well. And the Blitz has a little bit more tension to it. So here's a question for you. When is Carlsen going to retire?
From chess?
From chess.
As
a top player.
He did threaten to retire.
Yeah.
Recently, didn't he? I mean, he actually, after winning the last World Championships, I think his comments were he lost a bit of interest, and he actually even mentioned retiring then. I mean, I personally can't see him retiring for another 20 years because, he's world champion. He's obviously loves the game. He obviously does a lot of study with the game. Maybe he gets disillusioned, as we all do at certain times, but I think he'll keep going for a long period of time, which I hope to see because he may well be the best player ever at the moment, but will he become stronger? Will he? What will happen with him? And I think, like Kasparov dominated every tournament for at least a period of 10 years when he was world champion, and I think for Carlsen to get that place in history, he needs to do the same.
Yeah.
I think it's harder nowadays because computers level the field a bit more than they did in Kasparov's days, because Kasparov would generally get an opening advantage when he dominated against everyone because he had a better team.
Yeah.
Carlsen doesn't do that, so it's more down to your play. But if Carlsen can dominate in the next 10 years, he have that place in history as the best player ever, which I think he'd want to do.
Yeah,
I'd imagine so.
To be the GOAT.
Yeah.
So I'm talking with Rakesh Kulkarni. Everyone knows Rakesh. He's actually at the event right now. So I'm gonna ask him to come on the stream after the last round is finished, real quick. If he has some inside information, if he has some juicy gossips, because he came on yesterday, he had quite the load of gossips. It's always fun to hear it on the site events. He's quite busy though, so I don't think we can. But we're waiting now, so we could always ask. Carlsen versus Anand.
Yeah. Yes, it's always interesting to know what goes on behind the scenes. One of the things I found quite exciting, I mean, we've got the game starting any second now, so I'll be quick, but I saw this interview, I think that Tanya Sachdev did with the players, and it was basically one of the questions I found amusing, and two of the answers which were really funny, I thought, was which player would you most like to be stuck on a desert island?
Oh, desert island, yeah.
And they asked this to all the top players, and I think Anand, I'm just going to talk about two players here, mentioned he'd like to be stuck with Giri because he wouldn't have to do anything. He'd just let Giri talk, and he could just sit back and relax and listen to Giri. And Magnus Carlsen's answer was no one. He'd rather be on his own. He had a little smile when he said that. So I don't know how truthful he was being, but. Okay, if you had to be stuck on a desert island with any of these guys and you had to only pick one of them, which one would it be?
I think it would be Giri, because he already asked if I was Robin's boyfriend, so he already has that impression of me. So I'll make him scared. I'll let him give him sleepless nights.
You could become Giri's boyfriend.
I can become Giri's boyfriend. We can do it in the day and age. Queen d6. Now that's something I don't see a lot.
Well, we had this. So Carlsen with the black pieces is following what he played against Nepo from 2 rounds ago, and he won that game against Nepo. And Nepo played one of these critical lines where he tried to get the knight into the central square.
Yeah.
But now a slightly different move from Anand. He's picking a simpler system with bishop d3. Nepo tried g3 and bishop f4. Anand go for simple development here, which should give him a little advantage. I mean, I just find these positions a bit easier to play for white, but black is so solid.
Yeah, exactly.
He has nothing to worry about.
No, he's going to be fine. So we're going to scooch through the games from the start because we don't want to miss out on anything. Veronian against Dinglerin. So is this... No, this is not. I was thinking like the chopped liver attack when you like go for f7.
I think this must be. Yeah, this is the.
It is.
Did you call it the chopped liver?
It's not called the chopped liver. How do you call it?
The fried liver.
The fried liver. So it is this one. So I also called. I don't know. I actually don't know how to say it. But I call it Gucci piano. But I don't know how you actually pronounce it.
I don't know either. Just the Italian game. I'll go with.
But I also called. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, the line that White's played here, I mean, you grab the extra pawn, but Black gets quite a lot of play. It used to be a line that Bobby Fischer, with the white pieces, tried out quite successfully a couple of times.
Yeah.
So this is an idea of Bobby Fischer's, anyway, that White's doing here.
Okay, well, Bobby Fischer had some success with. And Aroni is a big fan of King H1 and Knight G1. I've seen this do this countless of times in Italian games with the same idea, King H8, Knight G8. He just does this kind of setup a lot, so he's well known to it. Okay, we're going to go to the next one. I'm going to fly to these chats, but they're going so fast. Hikaru against Wesley, the all-round American. I think it's going to be a drawish game, and Hikaru is going to try to grind out the win.
Yeah, no Gucci piano here. I like that, Gucci piano. So, but it looks okay. I mean, this kind of position is generally a bit better for white, because if you look at the bishops, and you look at the 2 pawns in the center of the board, the black pawn is on a light square.
Yeah.
But the white pawn is on a dark square. And you can't move these central pawns, they're fixed. So white can always attack black's pawn with his bishop. but black can never attack
It's
white's
already a
pawn in
draw.
the center.
They already drew.
There you go.
So
there you
never
go.
mind.
It's already
Never
a draw.
mind. Let's go.
There's
on.
me trying to explain the
Yeah,
intricacies.
exactly. Thank you. Appreciate that. Eric Krishna versus the Pumniachi, as always. The Pumniachi is down on time compared to. So this is a first. What do you think about this little box we have over here?
It's an interesting structure, yeah. I don't really like that box of black. I guess black wants to try to break out with something like f5, but what's that move? That's a very strange move.
Very peculiar.
This is kind of a standard sacrificial idea. I guess the point is if pawn takes pawn, you go f5, and you try to play like this. This is kind of a sacrificial idea which you can see in other openings. So an interesting.
I also like the idea of knight
idea.
c4, putting pressure on e5, looking at d6 as well.
Yeah.
Seems like a very normal idea to me. So we're going to see. Yeah, an f5 has been played. Okay. I'm not sure how black's going to respond to this. I think he feels pretty good about this, but it looks scary. It looks very scary.
It looks scary. I mean, f6 is the main threat, so you have to deal with this. Can black just go bishop f6? He has done. That might be just a good move. Because if you can get rid of the knight on h4, it's quite an important piece. And I think black should be defending here quite well.
Quite well. I mean, and he's just up a pawn.
I think you need to get your knight on e4 in this position. I think e4 is the square, but you can't get your knight to that square. So maybe this pawn sack was a little bit premature from Hari Krishna.
Yes, we're going to see in the advance. And the last game we haven't seen yet is Anish against Vidit.
Draw. Move on.
Yeah, it's going to be... Nobody cares. Next one.
Okay.
You want to make a friendly bet? That's not going to be... No, that's not too bad.
I can make a friendly bet if you want.
I think we could do it. Let's see Anand versus Carlsen. I think that's what the most people would like to see.
Interesting.
Interesting. Yes, the bishop there?
It's really weird. I mean, this opening, this Scandinavian, this line that Carlsen keeps playing is meant to be just a little bit worse for him, but he keeps getting better positions with black in this opening. So he's not, he's creating his own rules. And I think here black must be better. Look at white's pawn structure, big. It's disgusting. I mean, I don't like white's pawn structures. I mean, you look at his pawns on the king side, they're all broken up. So Carlsen has a much better pawn structure.
Yeah.
A bit of pressure on the d file, a strong knight on d5. And this is a position where the two bishops that white has are just not very good. The knight is better than the bishop. So I would say Anand's in a bit of trouble here.
I think they're just glorified pawns at this moment.
Yeah, they're not good.
That's all they are at the moment. So Carlsen with a slight edge, and if we know if someone can build a slight edge to, a big one, it's definitely Carlsen. I mean, the man is just an absolute legend. Any questions from the chat? We are looking at this, ladies and gentlemen. We look at the chat. We glance at them.
We are. So
we're gonna look at this game absolutely, but I'm also interested in Aronian because he was playing a very interesting one with a lot of pressure. The fried liver. Everyone knows that, chat. Come on, listen to me. Following the Boa Fischer. Not too much. I mean, there's a lot going on. Okay, let's start with the simple pawn structures, where the pawn structure of black is a little bit dicey and spicy, where white's pawn structure is very well placed. Both players are going to put the rooks on the d file and the e file, and the knight on g1. Where's it going to go, Simon?
Not very far at the moment. I mean, I think it's more of a defensive piece, that one.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing to bear in mind here is that white is a pawn up, so it's kind of like if black is the one who has to prove the compensation. Obviously, when you're a pawn down, you've got to say, well, where's my compensation? Because the more pieces that get exchanged off, the closer to a winning position. And it feels like black is just about active enough, but he's also got all his pieces to the best squares. Are they just repeating now? Maybe they're just repeating moves here.
It could be. I think Aroni will be happy with that. He just needs 1 point to surpass MVL. That's going to happen. It's all about how Hernand is going to. Now, he went queen e2, making room for the knight to f3. So he might just drop over here to h4, because this is a very nice square. So here, queen f3, knight f5 is an idea that he could execute. But, again, not too much. How difficult would it be to get this going? You see my idea?
I see right there.
How
I like these ideas. Checkmate.
Checkmate. That's a good idea, right?
This is far too blunt for these players. Though. These grandmasters, they don't like blunt attacks. They like doing little subtle moves.
I get that.
I don't know why. I like your idea, Vic. I think you should tell Ding about that afterwards.
I'll tell him. I'll tell like, yo, listen up, buddy.
Yeah. Listen to the Bic.
Yeah, listen to the Bic. You don't know who I am?
I know. It's very weird because they're kind of repeating positions, but these small changes in pawn structure.
Yeah.
Making a bit of a difference. But I have to say, I still like Aronia's position. I don't really see where Black's compensation for the pawn is. Mm-hmm. White's only got one bad piece.
Oh, hurry up. Sorry. I'm going to interrupt you there.
Sure.
We missed half the game.
Okay.
And now we're here. Opposite color bishop is a draw?
It's maybe a draw, but it's not easy. It's going to go on for a while. I mean, because the rooks are still on the board. If you remove the rooks on the board, it's an easy draw. Mm-hmm. But a rook and a bishop can create quite a lot of problems. And if somehow Black can attack f4, which is on a dart square, then it could be issues. But this last move, rook c2, is a good move. Mm-hmm. White can try bishop d3 and just try to exchange rooks. So I expect you're right. I expect it should be a draw, but Carlsen has the extra pawn, and Carlsen will be playing for quite some time in this position. There's no need to agree to a draw yet.
So here's the thing. I hear a lot of commentators say, or at least a lot of commentators say, there's only one person playing for two results. Meaning, there's only one person pushing for the win, correct?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
But, I mean, Anand is also a person playing for two results, which is losing or drawing. So I never got that... I never got that thing.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah. So both players are playing for two results, just different results.
Just different results. So
okay.
I mean, it's,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying here. So
must be the language barrier. Me as a weird Dutch. Yeah, we don't get that. Go ahead.
No, I think here obviously Carlsen is pushing for the win, and it just depends whether he can get there. I mean, if I was a betting man, what would I say the chances were here? I'd say that it should be a draw still, but I wouldn't like to defend this against Carlsen with not much time on my clock.
No, I would lose on both sides. Let's be fair.
I would lose it's very possible.
Let's go to Nepomniachtchi real quick, who's had a very nice... Whoa, look at these pawns, man.
Yeah, he's got a lot of pawns though, but he's... This is a weird position, yeah. White's pieces are very good, and even though Black seems to have a lot of pawns, they're all weak. I mean, he's got 3 pawns that can be captured on the queen side here. Yeah. And I think this is a lot of trouble for Black. Look at those. White's pieces are fantastic, yeah.
Is he going to go here? Take this route?
Yeah, this is also a simple way to do. Yeah.
That's a free piece. Oh,
Ian. He's winning the exchange at least. Yeah. So this is just winning. It's game over. Yeah.
It's over. Yeah, he's just winning a free piece. That's a full piece. And not sure if he resigned yet. No, he didn't resign yet. But
he's not going to be happy. Wow. He's resigned now, so it's a win.
He resigned now. That's rough. That's really rough. Okay. Yeah. Let's go back to Anand versus Carlsen. Let's update the score a little bit. These games go so fast, man. They go so fast.
That's why it's called Blitz, my friend. That's why it's called Blitz.
All right.
I quite like this move that Carlsen played, f5. I mean, if you're ever trying to win a position with opposite colours, what you should aim to do, one of the first rules, is to, if you can, is to put your pawns on the opposite colour to your own bishop.
Yeah.
Try to trap your opponent's pawns on the opposite colour to his bishop.
Yeah.
Because then he can't defend those pawns with his pieces. So that pawn on f4 looks really weak. I mean,
How is he doing this?
It's Carlsen. It's Carlsen.
How?
Carlsen. What would you expect? Carlsen always does this. He's this is why he's Carlsen. This is why he's world champion.
He can now slowly start inching his way towards this h3, but it's not going to be easy.
Well, it just depends. I mean, if you can win that f pawn for free, it should be winning. But if you have to swap rooks off to win that, I'm not sure if that's even a win. If you're 2 pawns up and the rooks come off the board, maybe it's not a win. No, he's going for your idea. But
he's going to make a run for it. Yeah, I think he's going to go rook f2 at some point to pick up this pawn. I mean, he could do that right now, right? And then
I'm just wondering if that's a win, because the rooks have to be exchanged, and it might still be a bit tricky there. Might be a win, I don't know.
Okay, he's got to go for this.
He might
Is
as
he
well.
going to be in Zugzwang maybe? No, he has plenty of room.
It's looking pretty horrible for Anand, isn't it? I mean, you're right. Zugzwang, he's running out of moves, and Black always does have this idea of just taking on f4 with a rook at the right moment.
Levon won, by the way. Let's show that ending real quick. Not sure what happened here, but
He was brave to play on, and he did play on, and he got some nice little tactics going. Yeah,
simple. A lot of things. We're gonna go back to the game later after this game. I want to focus on here now.
Okay, so I think what Carlsen's done, he's moved his bishop to e3. And the point of this maneuver is he wants to win that pawn on f4, but he wants to win that pawn without swapping rooks.
Yeah, exactly. So he's going to do this. Oh, that's genius.
Probably just bishop takes f4, rook f2 and bishop takes f4. So, and the king is so good on h4, white can't really move his kings, the king g3. So it's just an easy win. And it is actually now, he has resigned. So Magnus Carlsen, blooming heck, his technique, big. It's unbelievable, yeah?
So good. And this is pretty much a disaster for Anand. Well, I wouldn't call it a crisis, but he should be happy that Nepomniachtchi lost as well, because he was only half a point behind him. So that's him. And look at this. We should have placed a bet there, buddy.
Oh, we should have placed a bet. It looks like it might not be a draw.
It might not be a draw after all. It's 6 seconds against 6 seconds. The time is going on. We try not to change games too often, but I at least want to see every game first before focusing on another, so all the fans get to see their player. I'm not sure how to assess his position. I'm going to leave that to you.
I think it should be quite easily winning for Black because the knight is so fantastic. You've got the extra knight, and White's pawns, the only mobile pawn White has is this c pawn. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that c pawn is going to cause too many problems. The last move from Black was very nice. The rook can come to b8, c8, harass the c pawn. And also, if you look at Black's king, at some point, the Black king can sort of try to come into and start trying to attack those pawns. So I think I was wrong. It looks like Anish is controlling this one at the moment and should win. So
at this moment, they're playing so fast, so incredibly fast, that the board has trouble updating. So I'm having a peek and a gander to see when the results will come through. I don't think he's bid for time, but it could also be because this wouldn't be a position that I would resign in if I was White. I mean, I would know when I was beat, but this is one where I would say I'm going to try it at least. Would you try it as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think the one hope you've got is your c pawn here. If you can try to get that c pawn to c6, it's not so bad. But it's very hard to do because if you ever play c5, I think just rook c8 and you lose that pawn in the position. So, but you certainly play on. There's no point resigning, especially in Blitz as well. So
being made, no, they're still
struggling here.
They're still struggling here at the moment. I'm not sure what the result is. Not sure if someone will know. I don't have a result here just yet. And the next game will be in 40 minutes. So I think this one should be over, but I can't confirm that just yet. But in this position, I think Geary will take the cake. Shall we look at I'm going to look at the pairings for after this one real quick.
Yeah, since we're last round, right?
The last round is coming up. Let's see that go. Yeah, it's a draw actually.
It's a draw.
It's a draw. Okay.
How did he save that? Unbelievable. Well, I told you it'd be a draw.
I told you, easy.
Simple draw. I mean, that's, nothing happened there. It was always a draw.
Oh my God.
These guys knew it'd be a draw. They were just messing with us. Easy draw. I mean, it's Geary. Come on.
Yeah. How do you sleep at night, Simon, knowing that you you bully a boor?
I don't bully anyone. Come on, that's harsh. No, I think Geary's a great player, and I'm only joking about. And he's actually, I mean, people laugh about him drawing. If you actually look at his chess, I actually find he's one of the more aggressive players of the top players. So he's a really interesting player. So, I'm only joking.
I know, we love you for it. Let's look at the standings. It is Carlsen taking the lead, 5-point difference now. Hikaru is second. Wesley is actually creeping his way closer with only 3-point difference. Anish 12.5. And Anand, 12 points, tied with Ding. And Pomniachtchi only half a point behind him. Hare Krishna now also only half a point behind him. And Levon could also make a comeback, but Lavon 2 out of 8. That's just that's rough. He was 1 out of 7 before this. He just won, right?
But he's just won. He's won his first, I think maybe his first game.
Yeah, exactly.
So against Ding Liren as well. So it's a very good result. And the interesting thing about the standings really is like, except for first and second, they're all really close. They're really close. I mean, Magnus is just dominating. But even you could say Hikaru 3 points. All these places second to ninth. It's going to be a really exciting day tomorrow because it can all totally change in one day. There's 9 games tomorrow. Lots of things can happen. Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to update the pairings real quick, ladies and gentlemen. I see someone asking about to show us the draw. The last position that we had is the last position that they played. So that is the draw. That's just the gentleman's agreement, I would think. You think it's a gentleman's agreement, Simon?
The last, what's that pick?
The Geary versus Vidit that they drew.
I don't think these. I mean, I think these people are like gladiators. They're not gentlemen over the board. I'm sure they're gentlemen away from the board, but when they play, they just want to rip each other's throats out. I can actually remember I learned an important lesson. I used to find it very hard in chess tournaments playing against my friends.
Yeah.
I wasn't really up for playing because we would socialise afterwards. But then I was playing a very good friend of mine who was a grandmaster, and we were sharing a place at the British Championships, and he was an older grandmaster. And I offered him a draw very quickly in the game, and we were in quite a good position in the British Championships, and he turned it down immediately.
Yeah.
And I went on to win the game. And he said, "Well, why'd you offer me a draw?" And he goes, "It doesn't matter. We both have to win to do well in the competition. You shouldn't have ever offered me a draw. All you've got to do is, okay, if you beat me, you just got to make sure you buy me a whiskey after the game. And if I beat you, I'll buy you a drink. But when you're at the board, you've got to put away all your feelings towards your opponent. It's just completely different." So that was quite an important lesson. And I think that's the same with these guys. They've experienced, so they can just do that when they're playing, to be honest.
I can't explain you the draw there, Northern Fork. I think it's just the time trouble in combination with it, and they decided to do it. Maybe it was a repetition. We won't. But actually, I have a funny story about that as well, about a draw, Simon. You're gonna like this one quite a bit, I think. You're gonna like this one because you have a very vivid imagination. You can actually picture these events for you. So at the club, there was a 2150 player against a 1700 player. Big difference. They were going into an end game, and the 1600 was just losing, terribly, in the end game. But after every move, he would ask, draw? Draw? You're like, no, thank you. Draw? No, thank you. Draw? Now you gotta stop, buddy, or else I'm gonna... So he got really agitated, because, he was clearly winning the 2150. And a few moves later, he blundered. A terrible blunder. A complete unnecessary blunder. And a few moves later, it became a draw. And the 1600 dude, he was like... Literally, he was like, "Told you it was a draw." The dude almost flipped the table.
Oh, that's just rude, I mean, I've had that before where my opponent's offered me multiple draws. In the space of 10 moves, he's maybe offered me 6 draws, and I actually on the 4th draw, he offered me. I said, "Look, you just do not offer me another draw again. I don't want to draw. It's very clear I don't want to draw. If you offer me another draw, I'm going to get the arbiter," because that's kind of rude. That's kind of psychologically trying to put your opponent off. So, draw. I mean, you sometimes get this online, don't you? You're playing Blitz and someone just keeps offering you draws. Puts you on tilt a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
I heard a very funny story. I think it might have been the Dutch league as well.
Uh-oh.
And it was a league match, and it was a match and I think it was one of these leagues where you had, let's say, 8 boards each, and you could put any player, or it doesn't matter what their rating is, on any board, and you had this team of professionals, and their top player was over 2600, and they're playing another team. And what this other Dutch team did, I think it was in Holland, it could have been someone else, did something very crafty. They had a Russian guy playing for them, but he was only 1600.
Yeah.
And they put him on top board because he had a Russian-sounding name.
Yeah.
And he had the white pieces. So this 2600 who was playing a 1600, 1,000 points rating, assumed this guy was some grandmaster, and he just offered him a draw after 6 moves because he didn't know his rating. Because on board 2 they had a grandmaster, and so they just agreed to draw because this other guy assumed his 1600 was some unknown Russian grandmaster, but he was actually just a 1600 player. So, but he didn't know. So with black pieces, a draw is a good result for the team. So they played the opening moves, which the 1600 played okay.
Yeah.
And the grandmaster just said draw, and the 1600 was like,
just
ripped his hand
ripped his arm
off. Yeah, it's like just shows you. It's quite funny.
Wow, disgusting. Only the Dutch would do that. Disgusting.
I think it was in Holland. I don't know.
Could be. Yeah, we tried to do that. Kind of nasty stuff.
Cheeky, we say. So,
all right, we have 7 more minutes until the game starts. We're not gonna take a break. We're gonna pounce through till this last one. Yeah, that's it. That's a great story. Actually.
Yeah, it shows you. I mean, if you get a chance to check your opponent's rating, it's probably useful on occasions. Yeah,
exactly.
And you could just imagine what this grandmaster's teammates, when they found out that he just offered a 1600 a draw, what the grandmaster actually, his facial reactions, can't you? You just offered a 1600 player a draw. You can just been
you died on the inside. Absolutely.
Yeah, his face must have just dropped.
Wow.
So.
What's your biggest loss? Can you remember? Like you lost to in a very important game, not just a Blitz game online, but like in a league you lost against an 1800 or something.
I don't know. I mean, I suppose I don't play too many 1800s except for the first round of tournaments. I think I've lost. When I've been a grandmaster 25, when over 2500, I lost to two 2100s in a tournament. Which is like 400 points, I guess.
Yeah.
And the problem was, 2100s are really good players, and if you get a bad opening, you can lose. So it's not easy. But I don't know if I've lost to an 1800. Maybe I've just blanked it from my.
Yeah, you just blocked it off.
I probably have done. But just forgotten about it. So, yeah. Have you? What's your biggest? Have you played many tournaments, Big?
No, I don't actually play a lot of tournaments. So I can't say probably my biggest deficit is I lost against a 1600 or something when I'm 1850 so it's not that crazy. It's not that crazy.
It does happen though. It does.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us, and you have to take it on the chin. Yeah. Because I've also beaten 2200 players, so it's you're in the middle there. We're in the middle. Yeah. Actually, we didn't really check your results. Maybe you could check real quick. Remember what you predicted and what the results are?
Okay.
I don't want to show it on the... I'd have to change too many settings, so maybe you can look it up.
Yeah, I can. Let's have a look, see how the last results were. So, I think we had... Let's get this right. I can't remember who's playing now. So, Carlson did beat Anand, so I think I predicted that one. So I got 1 out of 1. Aronian... I said it was going to be a draw. I think.
Yeah, okay. And Aronian won.
So I got that one wrong. I don't know, who else do we have?
Well, Anish against Vidit, you said it was a draw. Which happened. Was a clear draw. Easy.
Yeah, and...
Wesley against Hikaru?
I said was a draw, and that was a draw.
As well, yeah. And then the last one was Hare Krishna versus...
I got that one wrong. I said that was going to be a draw. So I think I got, 4 out of 6? Or
that's good. That's good.
That's not bad.
That's pretty good. You want to take another guess? Another peek? Another gander?
Okay.
About this one?
Okay, so the last round, I'm going to go for...
Giri against Hare Krishna.
Well, draw, of course.
Draw, easy. Hikaru against Vidit.
I'm going to go for a win for Hikaru.
Magnus against Wesley.
I'm going to go for a win for Magnus.
Ding versus Anand.
I'm going to go for a win for Ding. Wow, there's a lot of white wins there.
And Nepomniachtchi versus Aronian.
I'm going to go for I'm going to go for a win for... I'm going to go for 4 white wins there. That's
4 white wins.
Yeah, that's a lot. That sounds like too much to me. Yeah, we'll see.
We're going to get spoiled this round. I like it. Let's keep...
Okay, what about your predictions, Vic?
My prediction. I'm just going to take everything you say and then reverse it. So I do think it's a draw by Giri. Because that's just 98 out of 100% times we get that. And then I'm going to say 4 wins for Black.
Okay. So you're going for a big upset in a couple of games.
Very big upsets are coming your way.
All right. It'll be interesting to see. Interesting to see this one then.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
What about you, chat? What do you guys think? Are we going to have decisive results? We're going to get a lot of draws? Peter Brommer says, I hope Magnus loses. The odds are against you. But it could.
Yeah.
It could.
I don't know. We've got an anti-Magnus guy, have we? No, I don't know.
Don't exist.
So, well, I don't know. I mean, Magnus doesn't lose many. He only lost one so far, and that was today. He lost against Ding, yeah?
Yeah.
I think. So he's only lost against Ding. Who do you think, like, we know the World Championships will be Magnus.
Yeah.
Who do you think will give Magnus the toughest world champion, be the toughest challenger?
Yeah, who gives him a run for his money?
I think Ding.
I think Ding, yeah, I actually think Ding.
Yeah.
I'm not saying other people aren't, like, competent enough to do it. I think everyone could put up a fight. I think Ding or Nepomniachtchi if he would be in, in the zone.
Okay. Yeah.
If he actually was, I don't know. I can't say. I don't know. He plays really fast always. If he's up on time, down on time, white or black, doesn't matter. Against who, he just plays fast.
Yeah, I think Rula mentioned that Nepo is one of the only players who might have a positive score against Magnus in this competition. So, which is obviously something that can help him. I kind of think it also depends really on Magnus because he is the best player in the world. There's no doubt about that. So if he plays at his top level, he should beat anyone. But it really, he can it's more about whether he'd defeat himself, I think, for whatever reason. I mean, it's a mental game after all. So
True.
You could say it's really up to Magnus, no matter who he plays.
Exactly. Well, the thing is that you say lose, and someone in the Chess TV chat says, well, Magnus was crushed by So at 960. That's also true. He got just, obliterated.
Yeah.
Even in equal end games, where you think like the opening was better, he lost those games. So Wesley also has it in him. So everyone could win, but no one could do it consistently. That's how we would.
I mean, these guys, they're all obviously fantastic players, So it's good. They're all going to give him a good challenge, but Magnus is a level above, and he was obviously having a bad day when he lost against Wesley. He wasn't playing his best chess by any means. Mm-hmm. I think it was tough because that was in Norway, and I don't think he likes playing in Norway, funnily enough, because he's got more pressure on him.
Yeah, true.
So, okay, the games have started, though, so we're in.
Let's look what we got here. We have a Nimzo. I know my openings. A Nimzo. That's usually you want to get a result when you play a Nimzo.
Yeah, well, I mean, usually you want to get a result anyway, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So the dad jokes are strong today.
Sorry. I'm waking up. I've had so much caffeine to get me on board.
Yeah, ready to go. All right, so Carlsen against Wesley. I don't know too much about his opening, so could you tell me a little bit about what the idea is? It kind of looks like Maroczy Blind is going to appear.
Yeah. I mean, this position here we see was very famous in Kasparov-Karpov. They had this exact position off D5 in their World Championship matches. I think in '88 in Seville, Kasparov with the white pieces had this position often against Karpov, who had the black pieces, and Kasparov came up with some interesting ideas. It's supposed to be slightly better for white, but black is quite solid. And I'm sure both of these players, the top players all know the classic games and the World Championship matches, and they're probably aware of this position well. So it's a normal position so far.
So it's waiting till we get a novelty. That's actually what we're aiming for.
Yeah, I'm wondering about this castles might be a newish move, but no. This is still going quickly. It looks like a pawn sack line that Magnus has played because black can take on e2.
Yeah, take it on e2 with check.
Yeah, and then move the bishop. But white would have very good compensation. Oh, maybe he just takes on b7. Maybe it's not even a pawn sack here.
Yeah, you could just take it.
If he wants to. Might be other options. But
does he have the means? Oh, yeah, well, this is a quick queen trade because the queen would attack the queen and he would attack the knight on e2. So this is usually I get this kind of position against me a lot, so I know that you get a lot of these kind of ideas. So we're gonna pull through. Pull through. I actually really want to see what Anand is doing. That's the most important part. And what happened here? Took on d4.
Okay, this looks a bit uncomfortable for Anand. Pawn structure and bishop. So Anand is black, and we mentioned in this tournament how important it is for Anand to come in the top 6, because then he qualifies for the final. in London in December. If he doesn't get in the top 6, he won't qualify. And this position is certainly a little bit uncomfortable for black because that pawn that Bick's mouse is hovering over cannot be defended by another pawn, making it a weakness. And white's 2 bishops in this position look quite good because there's many open diagonals they can move on, meaning their range is quite increased. So I'd certainly say white's a little bit better here, Bick, I think. Yeah.
Absolutely. 1 second. Okay. So, some questions. Carlson won against Anand earlier today, actually the last round. I hope Anand can make it work. I mean, this d5 pawn will be a liability, absolutely. This bishop can either go to a4 or to b3, put some pressure on d5. So we're going to see how that's going to work out. I'm not sure if trailing rooks would be that good for him, actually. I like white's endgame here with the 2 bishops.
Yeah. White has a very nice ending here. Definitely. This is the kind of position you don't want to have as black. I mean, the way that white tries to win these endings, when you're playing 2 bishops and your opponent has the knight, you kind of want to try to restrict that knight bit by bit. So you can often use your pawns to restrict it. So, for example, f3, g4, this kind of thing. Try to force that knight to go to a bad square. And this is not a nice ending for Anand at all.
We're going to go see if he can keep it up as we run to Nepomniachtchi against Aronian. And there's a king on b2.
Wow, this is a really exciting position.
What happened here?
I know. What happened here?
Okay, I usually don't do this, but I'm going to look for the opening. Oh, I love these kind of ideas. Look at that.
Yeah. This is a normal idea in this opening actually with Carlsen's played. Carlsen played queenside castling here as well. We're following a Carlsen game, and Nepo all seems to get very interesting positions.
Yeah.
And Aronian is going for it with this b3 move. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take that pawn, I guess bishop b4 is the idea to win the c pawn.
Yeah,
something like this.
Absolutely.
And whose king is weakest here? Opposite side castling.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like white's king.
Question.
Yeah. Can you? Yeah, I don't know. Can you put your?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just wondering if white can ever try to put the bishop on f6, some sacrifice, but I don't think it's going to work, So, okay.
So in this position,
he played a3.
He played a3. So let's say we go here. I'm gonna take on c5. Then I think.
Yeah, if the queens come off, I'm not so worried because I won't get mated now as white. But Yeah, maybe queen g. Yeah, this is just a complete mess, isn't it? Complete mess.
I mean, for both ends. So I like those kind of things. So he pushed through, and now the center is under attack. Yeah. I like staying on this game just for a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a very interesting one. There's already a draw between Hare Krishna and Giri. We haven't even reached that position yet.
So before we could even get to Giri's game, he's agreed to draw.
He's already a draw. So,
okay.
So we're both right. Hey, we're both right. Look at that.
We're both right. Yeah, we are.
Because I got 4 blacks though, so we're gonna see.
It does. To me, it kind of looks like White's position is in a bit of a mess here. If especially if we're just going to win that pawn on e5 now, pawn takes pawn. It looks really quite risky for White here because White doesn't really have any kind of attack, and this b3 pawn is really scary. That's probably going to decide the game. That'd be my prediction. The pawn on b3 is it's blocked at the moment, but later on, it's going to be really dangerous. I think
Yeah. Well, how are we going to chase this queen away? I mean, the dark squares are very weak, but I don't really see a position just yet where I can say, okay, well, the queen or the rook is going to get in. Everything is actually well blocked off by all these pawns, so White's probably going to, I don't know, can you double the rooks here? It's difficult.
It's really very tough. Yeah, very tough. And I think Black's going to win this pawn. Yeah, just pawn takes e5. This is just the simple problem. Okay, so he's trying to start a counter attack against d7 here. Rook takes d7 is the threat.
Exactly.
In this position.
And White's going to, I think a very obvious move here now is bishop c6.
Yeah.
Because it's end defense and it opens up here. And he could actually go to a4 and relieve the pressure of this rook. And now the rook can start maybe doubling up here on the e7 file. So seems very good. Okay, so he did play it.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I don't think bishop f5 was a good move. because you just force him to play a good move. True.
Okay, well he's gone queen d3 now. So white, if it's white's move, did black need to take on e5 there? Because now white has at least managed to win a pawn and weaken the black king a little bit.
Yeah.
So this is this idea. I don't know if Aronian should have allowed his king to be weakened so much.
Could you already play this? Or is this a little bit too soon? Now he has checks all over coming in.
Yeah.
So that we can't have that. But an idea, if we get the bishop back, and then we get this going.
Yeah, definitely.
Will be a
You
very...
can see the black king is also weak, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm actually not sure whose king's weaker at the moment.
This has changed. So Nepo's done this before, isn't he? In sharp positions, he really plays incredibly well.
Yeah.
And he's a brilliant attacker as well.
He's got a bunch of talent. I think we can both agree on that. He's a very talented man.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good, isn't he? So, okay, so there's some more exchanges coming in, and it just really is whose king's weakest pick. I'm finding it hard to work out. I don't know. It's kind of like one of those ones where that old cliche, any result is possible.
Yeah,
but it really is. This is a nice move though, because that rook can be used defensively and aggressively on e6.
Exactly.
So I feel black should be better still, but it's not as big as it was before.
Well, I mean, if you take here, this rook is going to come in. This looks very, very nasty. If you don't take there, I'm going to take here. If you take with the rook, I'm going to lose. If you take with the queen, I'm going to lose. If you play d6, I'll probably take her still and then go rook e4. I actually like white because of the missing h-pawn. Maybe you go bishop a4. Maybe that's his best move now.
Maybe. I mean, I can always... Yeah, it's not clear what Aronian's going to play here. You're right. It's a tricky position.
Okay, rook d6.
Okay. Now bishop d5 played. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
And now this rook swinging idea of bringing the rook to e4 or e5 is dangerous.
Oh.
Yeah, this is turning a little bit. Yeah?
We have 2 more draws, by the way. Anand drew and Hikaru against Vidit also drew. So I'm going to put that one on as well.
Yeah. And so this game's going on. How's Magnus getting on now? Should we have a quick look?
Yeah,
at
let's have a gander at Max's. Maggie is.
Okay.
Hold on, let me see.
Looks like a lot of things are getting exchanged.
Looks like complicated. I mean, is this pawn stronger than this pawn?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I expect black has to take this a pawn off the board. Can he just take it? Rook takes a5, or is there some tactic with bishop d2 at the end?
I think there's. So
bishop d2 is what I want to play. But then rook a3.
Oh, rook a3 and then defense, quote unquote everything. But then after rook b1, I think this pawn is going to fall.
Probably a draw. But again, the 2 bishops look a little bit scary. So
exactly. I'm going to go back to this one. I'm sorry.
It's a fascinating game.
It's a fascinating game, at least. G7 is very big. Look at the time.
Wow.
15 seconds is all we have.
All of a sudden, it's clear that black's king is weaker than white's king, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and what's the pawn count? Oh, it's quite hard to work out this count. So.
They're equal.
They're equal, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could go on, if they exchange and we get into this position, it's actually more or less a draw. So he wants to keep the rooks on the board. No, he's going to get the queen off the board, and white is going to win this pawn. I think he doesn't really have the time. White will play a4, making sure that he doesn't have this way to defend. What do you think?
Well, white's certainly a little bit better here because you can go rook c3, rook d3, and then take the pawn, and you'll go a pawn up at the right time. He's not rushing to do this. It's just the b3 pawn, which I said was going to win the game for black. It is more of a weakness than anything else. So, okay. And look at the time situation. The time situation is pretty horrible.
It's pretty devastating.
We might find the black king gets in a lot of trouble here as well. Rook e3, g4, kind of checkmate ideas start coming.
Ooh, I like it.
So maybe rook f4 straight away here. And
hello.
You know, he's done it. Rook f4.
Rook takes d7.
Yeah, this is Aronian's going down here, I feel. So
it's not that easy. Rook takes d7. I don't think it's made just yet, and you should be a little bit careful about your own king safety here.
Sure. Yeah, it's not easy.
Someone said, great news for Anand fans, he's going to London. There's one more day after this. It's a double round robin. So they'll play the same games tomorrow as well. So don't share just yet until the bear is shot. Don't sell the skin of the bear until it's shot. I don't know. That's their saying.
Yeah, we're starting a bit earlier tomorrow, aren't we? We're starting very early, but it's the last day tomorrow. So we'll find out if Anand is going to London, and I'm sure Bick will show the results after the end of the games as well. So you better see all the live scores.
Well, I'll only do it if they ask nicely. Chat, if you ask nicely, I'll share the standings. If not, you won't get to see them.
I think you should just show him another ad instead.
Yeah. I don't have control for that, chat. It's not me. It's not me.
Well, this is now mate.
This is mate. Wow. Yeah. Check, mate. Doesn't matter what he does. This is a standard.
Yeah.
Mate deal we have, and he resigned. You're right, man. The Pomiachi.
The only player to win. The only player to win that round. So I was a bit off my predictions there. So all the other games ended in a draw. Magnus ended up drawing, and that is the end of the chess today. Yeah.
Quite. That's the end. I can't get Rakesh in because he has a press conference right after this. So that's an unfortunate change. Let us show to you, all you beautiful people. Even you. You know who you are. No, I'm not sure what I'm talking about. Here we go. Let me update the standings as it is, and now we're going to see what the last day, or what the final day will be tomorrow, and what the standings we're going to go into. Carlsen is first. Would you believe that? I know it's a big response to me as well. Carlsen is the number one. Hikaru is still second, so not a lot has changed. But one thing has changed, and that's that Anand isn't sixth place anymore.
No, that's right. So if it ended now, the tournament, Anand would not be going to London. So he needs to have a better day tomorrow, Anand.
Yeah, this is not the scores exactly because it's sorted alphabetically, like D-I-V, like Ding, Ian, and Vish. So I'm not sure what will happen instead of a tie break. I think they'll play more games, but I have to actually look it up. I'm not sure what happens when a tie break comes. But what I do know is that this was the final round of today. Let's get Simon back. You know, I like seeing Simon. He's my boy. This is the final round of today. Tomorrow, the first game, an interesting one between it will be actually Hikaru versus Anish is always something I'm looking forward to. Fish was Anand is playing Iprovich. And if you're asking yourself, when is Hikaru versus Carlsen game? It is the number... have to find the third round. So the third round will be Hikaru versus Magnus Carlsen. You should be there. And we will start an hour earlier because of, you have to clean up the... So why is the last round always an hour earlier, Simon?
Because they're horrible and they want us to get up earlier and they want to ruin our lives. Actually, there's quite a lot of debate. Many chess tournaments, they make the last round a morning round, and the figuring behind that is so that participants can go and go that evening. They can leave and get their plane to get home.
Yeah.
But I don't. These guys are in no rush to get home. They're all professionals, so I'm not sure why it's an hour early. Maybe they need to fit the press conference in at their end or something like that. But it's starting 7:30 GMT tomorrow, so it's an early start tomorrow for us. Yeah.
Hope you got your Red Bull ready and the caffeine. Yeah. Maybe mix it. We can make it happen.
It could be interesting.
8 players are going to London, asks Soviet. No, 4 players are going to London. So only the top 4. I should bring up the standings. Just the final time for you a lot, as the cool kids would say. I'm a cool kid, so I say it. These are the standings. So the number 1 and 2 is already set in place. Magnus and Ding are going through. MVL doesn't play, so he's going to drop under Aronian, who already got like 0.3 points. And it's all about Anand, who has to come in 6th during this tournament to get to the 4th place. since Karyaking isn't playing and MVL isn't playing because they already had 5 events. And how did they get 0.3 points extra? Hello? You see this?
What's this?
There's the numbers second and third. They have 37.8.
Oh, right, okay.
Not sure. I'm not sure how that happened.
Don't ask me about that one. I don't know. That makes absolutely no sense to me at all.
Doesn't matter. We'll take it with a laugh. We'll take it with a laugh, chat. So yeah, it was an absolute pleasure. Simon, you are amazing. You are an absolute brilliant man. You have good synergy, and I hope everybody had a good time.
Yeah, well, thank you, Bick, and I must say, you're the man who's doing all the technical stuff here. I'm literally just on a call, so my job is a lot easier than Bick's, and he's been doing this for the last couple of days, so he is the main guy here. He's doing all the tech stuff. He's putting the ads up on Twitch.
No,
joking. No, I'm joking. He's got nothing to do with the ads on Twitch. Come on, just calm down with that, guys. And he's doing all that. He's doing all this brilliant tech stuff. So, and he's putting on a really good show. So, massive shout out to Bick. And I might just leave you, Bick, now, so you can just close it up. Yeah. So,
now we're going to close it up together. We're just going to go offline right after this. So, chat, thanks so much for being here. Shameless plugs to ourselves. If you want to follow the Ginger GM, which is on this side for the camera, if you want to follow this guy, make sure to go to Ginger GM. Just Google it. You'll find it. He's an absolute beast, an absolute legend. And it's an honor to call him my friend. Oh, we're going to get a little bit close here. If you like my content, if you like what you see, Bigfoot the Now on Twitter, or just twitch.tv/Bigfoot, where you can find. We can find us probably daily. That's what we're trying to do. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Tomorrow we will be there an hour earlier, so be there. And we're going to say goodbye for now. And we will see you tomorrow, just an hour earlier. Good day, everyone. And thank you for tuning in.